We end the show with this. The construction sector has threatened to go to court to force government to implement the construction sector charter codes aimed at implementing transformation. Speaking at the SAFCEC conference, as it's called, held in Johannesburg today, leaders in the civil engineering industry said that the delay had led to massive job losses in their sector.
The construction sector charter codes aimed at determining scorecards and grading in the sector were finalized in May 2016. The sector is blaming government for dragging its feet to promulgate the codes and sign them into law. They say most companies in the sector are in limbo as they cannot compete and secure new contracts. As a result, many of them have been forced to close shop and lay off employees as they are unable to secure new contracts.
We think that we are treated with disdain because our members are suffering in terms of competing for government contracts. Those that were highly graded, they are downgraded on the generic scorecard and therefore are not able to get contracts. Because these companies are the significant investors in terms of capex and skills development in the construction sector. The consequences are too ghastly to contemplate because workers are losing jobs. It means people's jobs being lost. Many companies are on the brink of closing down because they cannot compete.
In the past 5 years, government has spent more than 1 trillion rand on infrastructure development, but private sector investments have dropped from 23% to 19%. The NDP aims at increasing fixed investments to 30% by 2020. Policy uncertainty has been highlighted as one of the issues which will affect the implementation of the NDP targets that must be achieved by 2030.
All those issues of uncertainty, the government is implementing them, is addressing them to make sure that all the obstacles that stand in the way for an effective delivery of services and also to give more confidence to the private sector that we are committed to the things that we are doing. That is why I also highlighted this presidential CEO initiative that is led by the Minister of Finance and the chairperson of Telkom in order to ensure that all these confidence-boosting measures are implemented as reinforcing our National Development Plan Vision 2030.
Delegates agree that the construction sector has an important role to play in achieving the goals of the NDP and that a further delay in implementing transformation codes will cause more harm than good in the sector. Naledi Matlapeng, SABC News, Johannesburg.
All right, thanks for being with us on SABC's Prime Biz News. Happy World Food Day. May you eat well tonight. The news continues. If you can join us, we'll wrap up the headlines, including Somalia, at the top of the hour in just 5 minutes' time.
After a horrific accident, major questions were asked.
So step one, I asked myself, do I really want to die?